Welcome to the Heartbreak Chronicles, where every story is a raw reflection of life. Hit that subscribe button to stay tuned, give us a like to show your support, and share this episode with your friends. Don't forget to leave a comment and let us know what you think. Now, let's dive into today's story. My name is Ethan, and I'm a senior engineer at a large internet technology company. My wife Olivia is a successful financial investment analyst. We live in bustling metropolises with enviable high-paying jobs and luxurious lifestyles. But as time went on, I grew more and more tired of this fast-paced, stress-filled life. I longed to return to a simpler, freer way of life. Every day, as I sit on a crowded subway, squeezed between hundreds of commuters, I am reminded of my childhood days on a South Dakota farm. There are wide-open skies, fresh air, and peaceful country life. I'm starting to miss that simple and fulfilling lifestyle. However, just as I was considering how to make a difference, an unexpected discovery completely changed the course of my life. It was a normal Thursday night, and I got home earlier than usual. As I walked into the house, I heard Olivia's voice coming from the bedroom. She seemed to be on the phone with someone, her tone intimate and pleasant. I instinctively stopped, held my breath, and listened carefully. As the conversation continued, my heart sank to the bottom. Olivia is discussing a recent business trip with her colleague Jack Hunter. But it was clear to me from their conversation that this was no serious business trip at all. "Jack, last week in Vancouver was amazing," Olivia said softly. "I can't wait to see you again." "Me too, honey," Jack's voice came through the phone. "Next time we should go somewhere more private." I froze in place, feeling a wave of vertigo. My wife, my partner of many years, was having an affair with someone else behind my back. At that moment, I felt my world fall apart. Over the next few weeks, I began to watch Olivia's every move closely. I hired a private investigator and gathered a great deal of evidence that confirmed that Olivia and Jack's affair had been going on for some time. Every photo, every recording, was like a sharp blade stabbing into my heart. The woman I once loved is now a stranger. I started looking back at our marriage and trying to figure out what went wrong. Maybe we're too busy working and neglecting each other's feelings. Maybe we're losing the passion we had at the beginning. In any case, I knew our marriage was beyond repair. During this painful period, I began to re-examine my life. I realized that I had been chasing a dream that wasn't really mine. Highly paid jobs, luxury apartments, expensive cars, do these really bring happiness? I suddenly realized that what I had been longing for deep down was to return to my roots, to that peaceful farm. I started secretly planning my exit. Over the years, I've been investing in the stock market and cryptocurrencies and have amassed a sizable fortune. I decided to take early retirement and return to my old family farm in South Dakota. But I didn't want Olivia to know what I was planning. I'm going to surprise her with a lesson she'll never forget. I've devised an elaborate business trip plan. I told Olivia that I needed to go out of town on business for a couple weeks. In the meantime, I contacted our daughters and told them I wanted to have a surprise party for Olivia's birthday. They were all excited to get started. While I was traveling, I quietly took care of all the retirement and moving issues. I moved most of my assets to a secret account, leaving just enough to maintain our current lifestyle. I also contacted my relatives back home and arranged for them to help me organize my farm in preparation for my return. Finally, the day of Olivia's birthday party arrived. I recorded a video message ahead of time for my daughters to play at the end of the party. Later that night, I watched the entire party unfold via video call. Olivia looked so happy, completely oblivious to what's about to happen. As the party drew to a close, my oldest daughter, Emma, announced that she wanted to play my video blessing. At first, the video shows me smiling and wishing Olivia a happy birthday, reflecting on the wonderful memories we shared. However, the second half of the video suddenly shifts the tone. "Dear Olivia," I said in the video, "I hope you had a great birthday, but I have an even bigger surprise for you." Next, I played the evidence I gathered: photos of Olivia and Jack on vacation in Vancouver, recordings of their intimate conversations, and other undeniable evidence. The whole room fell into a deathly silence. "I know you're probably going to say that it was just an insignificant mistake," I continued, "but it's not the first time, is it? I know that your relationship with Jack has been going on for a long time. I used to think that our marriage was built on love and trust, but now I realize that for you, it's just a game. I saw Olivia's face turn pale, her eyes filled with fear and shame. Our friends and family looked at her in shock and couldn't believe their ears and eyes. So, Olivia, I said, this is my birthday present to you. Freedom. Freedom to pursue the life you really want. Because as of today, our marriage is over. By the time you see this video, I'll be gone. Don't bother looking for me, because you'll never find me. After the video ended, the entire room descended into chaos. I watched as Olivia broke down and cried. Our friends left, and our daughters looked at their mother with anger and disappointment. It was at that moment, when everyone's attention was focused on Olivia, that I quietly closed the video call and deleted all the apps and accounts that could have been used to track me. I knew that from this moment on, my new life was about to begin. I boarded the plane to South Dakota with mixed emotions. I felt relief because I was finally out of a sham of a marriage. I feel excited because I am about to start a whole new journey in life. But I also feel a tinge of sadness for the memories that were once so good, for the dreams we once shared. As the plane slowly landed at the airport in South Dakota, I took a deep breath and smelled the familiar air. I know that this is where I belong. No matter what the future holds, I'm ready to take on new challenges and start living the life I really want. This is not the end, but a new beginning. I, Ethan, will rediscover myself and redefine the meaning of happiness in this familiar yet strange land. When I set foot on South Dakota soil, a sense of calm that had been missing for a long time instantly enveloped me. Away from the hustle and bustle of the big city, I could finally hear my inner voice. I took a deep breath and the air was filled with the aroma of grass and earth, a familiar smell from my childhood. My Uncle John drove to the airport to pick me up. Along the way, we talked about the changes that have occurred over the years. The farm is still there but needs some repairs. I already have a plan in mind to transform it into a modern, smart farm. You know, Ethan, said Uncle John, your father would be proud of you if he were still around. I nodded, a warmth welling up in my heart. I knew that I had finally made the right choice. Over the next few weeks, I was busy organizing the farm and also dealing with my divorce. I need a lawyer, and preferably one who doesn't have a soft spot for people like Olivia. I met Sophia through the recommendation of an old friend. Sophia is an experienced divorce attorney who impressed me when we first met. She was smart, competent, and most importantly, she seemed to understand my situation. Ethan, she said after hearing my story, I know exactly how you feel. In fact, I've been through a similar situation myself. I looked at her in surprise, not realizing we would have this in common. Sophia told me that her ex-husband, Lucas, had also cheated on her with none other than her best friend. The blow sent her into a slump for a while, but eventually she chose to pick herself back up. At the time, I felt like my whole world was falling apart, Sophia recalls. But looking back now, that experience made me stronger. We started seeing each other on a regular basis, not only to discuss the divorce, but also to talk about our respective lives. I find myself looking forward to meeting Sophia more and more. Her wisdom and humor always puts me in a good mood. But we were both cautious enough to know that we shouldn't develop any feelings beyond a professional relationship until our respective divorce proceedings were complete. In the meantime, I set about realizing my new plan. I used the experience and connections I had made at my tech company to start a company that specializes in smart farming solutions for local farmers. My idea is simple: apply the latest technology to traditional agriculture to increase yields and reduce costs. My company quickly attracted the interest of local farmers. Many of them were struggling with how to survive in a competitive market, and my solution gave them new hope. One day, I was demonstrating our new smart irrigation system to a group of farmers when I suddenly saw a familiar figure. That's Sophia's brother Daniel, one of the biggest farmers in the area. Ethan, greeted Daniel enthusiastically, Sophia told me you were back and I didn't realize you brought such great technology with you. We had a long conversation and Daniel was interested in my ideas. He offered to invest in my company and invited me on a field trip to his farm. And just like that, I not only gained an important business partner, but I also found a part-time job as a technical advisor on Daniel's farm. Life is slowly getting on track, and I feel more fulfilled and satisfied than ever. Every morning, I wake up at sunrise, breathe in the fresh air, and start my day. In the evenings, I would sit on the porch and watch the sun slowly sink into the horizon and contemplate the meaning of life. My relationship with Sophia is slowly developing. Although we were both careful not to commit to a new relationship too quickly, the attraction between us was palpable. We began to share more about our respective pasts, present, and expectations for the future. We were walking together one night when Sophia suddenly stopped, looked at me, and said, "Ethan, I think we should talk." My heart raced, wondering what I would hear next. "I know we've both been through painful betrayals," she continued, "but I want you to know that you made me believe in love again. I don't want to hide my feelings anymore." I took a deep breath and felt a wave of relief and joy. "Sophia," I whispered, "I feel the same way. You've shown me that life is good. But we both know we can't go any further until our respective divorces are finalized." Sophia nodded, understanding and anticipation shining in her eyes. "We can take our time," she said. "We have plenty of time." And so began a special relationship. We support each other and grow together, but at the right distance. We all understand that it is only after completely letting go of the past that we can truly begin a new chapter in our lives. Meanwhile, my career is steadily growing. My company is gaining more and more attention and support. I've even gotten requests for counseling from other states. I started thinking about how to scale up my business without losing my original intent to help small farmers become more productive. Sophia has always been my strongest support. Not only does she support me legally, but she often gives me valuable business advice. Her wisdom and insight always inspires me in new ways. One night, as we sat on the porch of my farm, looking at the star-filled sky, Sophia whispered, "Ethan, you know what? I've never felt more peaceful and happy than I do right now." I took her hand and felt her warmth. "Me too," I said. "This simple life, this land, and you, that's what I've been looking for." We smiled at each other and knew we were planning a great future together. Though we have both experienced betrayal and hurt, we choose to believe in love and in each other. We know that as long as we work together, there is no difficulty that we cannot overcome. In the quiet of the South Dakota night, I felt like I had finally found my place. This is not only my past, it's my future. And Sophia, she's the one who's going to write that future with me. Sophia and I grew closer as time went on, but we both knew there were still unresolved issues to face. One of the trickiest things is how to explain it all to our kids. I have 3 daughters, Emma, Lily, and Zoe. They are all adults with their own lives and families. Although they seemed disappointed in their mother the night I revealed Olivia's infidelity, I knew it wasn't that simple. After all, Olivia is their mother, and I don't want to jeopardize their relationship because of issues between us. However, things turned out to be more than I expected. One day, Emma called me, sounding frustrated. "Dad," she said, "I need to talk to you. It's about Mommy." I took a deep breath and prepared for whatever might come my way. "What's wrong, honey?" I found out Tom cheated on me too," Emma choked out. "Tom is her husband. When I confronted him about it, he actually said that it was no big deal because Mom did it too." I felt a pang of heartache. My daughter is going through pain similar to mine. "Emma, I'm so sorry you're going through this. What are you going to do?" "I don't know, Dad. I'm confused. I'm beginning to wonder if this is the norm in marriage. Are people cheating on each other?" I realized that it was time for my daughters to know the whole truth. I can't let them lose faith in love and marriage because of Olivia's behavior. I decided to arrange a family gathering. I invited Emma, Lily, and Zoe to the farm for a weekend. When they arrived, I was surprised to find them all looking a little tired and frustrated. After dinner, we sat by the fireplace and I began to tell the whole truth about my marriage to Olivia. I told them that Olivia's cheating wasn't a one-time mistake, but an ongoing behavior for years. I showed the evidence I had collected, including the private investigator's report and photographs. "Girls," I said softly, "I know this is hard for you to accept, but I think you have a right to know the truth. Just because your mothers acted the way they did doesn't mean that all marriages are like that. True love is based on trust and loyalty." The room fell into silence. I could see tears glistening in Emma's eyes, Lily gripping the arm of the couch, and Zoe lowering her head. Finally, Lily spoke up, "Daddy, I have something to tell you too." She took a deep breath. "I'm also having problems in my marriage. I found out Ryan had been flirting with his assistant. When I confronted him about it, he said it was just a work relationship and that I was being too sensitive." Zoe chimed in, "Jake and I are separated too. He said I was too boring to fulfill his needs." My heart sank. All three of my daughters have suffered betrayal and hurt in their respective marriages. It dawned on me that Olivia's behavior was not only affecting me, but our children as well. She sets a false example for them to follow and gives them the false impression that this behavior is acceptable. "Girls," I said, "I'm sorry you have to go through this, but please remember that you have done nothing wrong. You deserve to be treated with respect and honesty. Don't let the wrongdoings of others affect your belief in love." Over the next few hours, we talked in depth about marriage, fidelity, and self-esteem. I told them about Sophia and how we found solace and new hope in each other's hurt. "Dad," Emma finally said, "thank you for telling us this. I think we both need to reevaluate our relationship." Lily and Zoe nodded in agreement. I saw the confusion in their eyes gradually replaced by determination. For all I know, this night could have changed the course of their lives. The next morning, as we prepared breakfast together in the kitchen, the atmosphere was noticeably lighter. The daughters began discussing their future plans. Emma decides to separate from Tom to give herself some time to think. Lily intends to have a serious talk with Ryan, while Zoe suggests she might move back home and start her life over. Just then, I got a text from Sophia. She told me that Olivia tried to reach out to her, trying to save our marriage. "Girls," I said, "your mother wants to get back together with me. What do you think?" Emma frowned. "Dad, after knowing all the truth, I don't think that's a good idea. You deserve better." Lily and Zoe agreed. Looking at my daughters, I felt a surge of relief. Despite all they've been through, they remain sane and kind. I messaged Sophia back and told her my decision. "I'm not going back to Olivia. I've started a new life with a new direction. More importantly, I have found someone who truly respects and values me." Meanwhile, I hear Olivia's not doing so well. Her career was hit hard by the scandal, and many of her friends alienated her. A flicker of sympathy flooded through me, but I knew this was the result of her own choices. At the end of that weekend, as I sent my daughters off, I felt the connection between us stronger than ever. We went through pain, but we chose honesty and courage. I know that no matter what the future holds, we will support each other through it. As I watched their car disappear down the country road, I took a deep breath and felt the warm South Dakota sunshine. I took out my cell phone and sent Sophia a message. "Honey, our future begins." As spring creeps in, South Dakota's farms begin to take on new life. I stood on the porch and watched the wheat fields in the distance ripple with gold in the morning light, filled with gratitude and anticipation. My life has changed drastically over the course of the year, and now, I finally feel true happiness. Sophia and I have all our divorces finalized, and we can finally be together in the open. We decided to have a simple wedding at the farm, inviting only our closest family and friends. On the day of the wedding, I stood under the makeshift wedding arch and watched Sophia walk slowly in a simple, elegant white dress, accompanied by her brother Daniel. She had a happy smile on her face and a sparkle of love in her eyes. My daughters Emma, Lily, and Zoe stood by with genuine smiles on their faces. They've both been through their fair share of ups and downs over the past few months, but they've also grown stronger in the process. Emma has divorced Tom and is now focusing on her career and children. Lily and Ryan, after much communication and marriage counseling, decided to give each other a chance to start over. Zoe moved back to South Dakota, got a job with my company, and started a new life. Sophia's daughters, Mia and Ava, also came to the wedding. At first, they were a little hesitant about this new relationship, but after witnessing the genuine affection between us, they grew to accept me. Now, our 5 daughters are getting closer to each other as one big family. As we exchanged vows, I felt a sense of inner peace and joy. I knew that I had finally found my own happiness. I, Ethan, do solemnly accept you, Sophia, as my wife. I promise to love, cherish, and be faithful to you in the days to come. in good times and in bad, for richer and for poorer, in sickness and in health. Together we will face the challenges of life and share its joys forever." Tears glistened in Sophia's eyes as she whispered the same vows. As we embraced and kissed, loud applause and cheers rang out around us. The after-wedding party was filled with laughter. Our family and friends gathered to share good food and good times. I see Emma eagerly discussing something with Mia, and Lily and Ava teaching Zoe a new dance. I was overwhelmed by this heartwarming image. In the evening, after the guests had left, Sophia and I sat on the porch and quietly admired the star-filled sky. "Ethan," Sophia said softly, "you know what? I never thought I could have this kind of happiness again. Thank you for giving me a new start." I held her hand tightly and said, "We've both given each other new beginnings. That's the marvelous thing about life, isn't it? When we think it's all over, it's actually a new chapter that's opening up." The next few days were a gradual process of getting our lives on track. My thriving smart agriculture company is not only helping local farmers, but also attracting attention from other states. Sophia began working at the local legal aid center for people who could not afford a lawyer. Our family is also growing. Emma's son, Oliver, often comes to the farm on vacation and enjoys running through the vast fields and learning how to care for the farm animals. Lily told us she was pregnant, and the news thrilled the whole family. Zoe started dating a young engineer who worked at my company, and we were all very happy for her. One day I received an unexpected email. It's from Olivia. "Dear Ethan," the email reads, "I know this email may come too late, but I still want to say I'm sorry. Over the years, I've been thinking about what I've done, and I've finally realized how serious a mistake I've made. I don't expect your forgiveness. I just want you to know that I really regret it. I wish you and Sophia every happiness." After reading this email, a wave of mixed emotions flooded through me. I told Sophia, and she held my hand understandingly. "Are you going to reply to her?" she asked. I thought for a moment, then shook my head. "No," I said, "let bygones be bygones. We've started a new life. There's no point in going back." Sophia nodded approvingly and gave me a warm hug. Before we know it, we've been living on a farm in South Dakota for 5 years. Our family has grown even more and is filled with laughter. Every weekend, kids bring their kids to the farm to play. We'll grill together in the yard, share what we've seen all week, and enjoy the family. Looking at my children running around the yard, listening to my daughter's pleasant conversations, and feeling the warmth of Sophia snuggled up next to me, I knew that this was the happiness I had been looking for. We have experienced betrayal and hurt, but we have chosen forgiveness and rebirth. We found true love and built a family full of warmth and understanding. We are rooted in this land and have created a happy life that is ours. As night falls and stars the South Dakota night sky, Sophia and I often sit on our porch and reflect on our journey. We are all deeply grateful for this chance to start over that life has given us. "You know, Ethan," said Sophia the other night, "I think our story is like those crops on the farm, surviving the harsh winter, only to come back to life in the spring and produce the sweetest fruit." I smiled and nodded, feeling deeply the truth in her words. Yes, we are like the crops of this land that have weathered the storms of life, but have been reborn and blossomed into the brightest light in our love for each other. In the quiet of the South Dakota night, in Sophia's warm embrace, I knew that I had finally found my true home. This is not only my past, but my present and future. And Sophia, she's the one who's going to write this bright future with me. Ours is a story of betrayal, pain, rebirth, and true love. It teaches us that hope never fades, even in the darkest moments. As long as we have the courage to face the truth and make choices, we will surely find our own happiness. Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's story. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have a story to share about your own or someone else's experience, please feel free to contact me. Take care.